Hello class, this is your teacher Mr. McDougall with your next Premiere Pro tutorial. In this section for these next few lessons we are going to be talking about different types of transitions you can edit in Premiere Pro. So the first one we're going to talk about is called a match cut. So let's briefly talk about what a match cut is and then I'll let you start practicing. So a couple of things on transitions. Again, first one is the match cut. What a match cut is, we're going to learn how to practice it and then do it on our own. So we're not going to watch this whole thing. What we are briefly returning to the Studio Binder series of the shot list. This one focuses on editing transitions. There's a lot to practice. However, we're only going to focus on a few. We're not going to do what we did in the past of watching the entire thing. However, this slideshow is part of your assignment, so you're able to watch this. It's only the one section on the match cut, so it's only about a minute. It's not the entire video. So I'm not going to play it right now. I'm going to skip through it, because that's another YouTube video and you can't have another YouTube video playing on this YouTube video. So let me just briefly summarize what you just watched. Make sure you watch it so you can see a nice visual video example of what a match cut actually looks like, because these are only slides. So a match cut is a transition where you have matching elements between shots 1 and shot 2. So there's an element in shot 1 that carries over into shot 2 and connects them together. And it could be a whole bunch of things. The video mentions that it can be shapes, compositions, colors, movement, sound, etc., etc. There's lots of things that will have similar elements in shot 1 and shot 2. And let's go over just a couple of examples right now. So for example, shape is a simple one. So for example, in shot 1, there could be a shape like this circle as we get closer to this restroom sign, and then shot 2 will go into this clock, and you can see the matching element is that they are the same shape. And this will be in your exercise file, so I'll go through this one at the end of the slideshow. Some other examples from movies is color. Like for example, in Shrek, at the beginning, he creates a fire, and then it immediately cuts to the next shot of the villagers with their fire. So there's a connection between the colors. It goes from shot 1 exactly like here, and then this exactly in the center in the same spot. That is a match cut. And again, if you watch the video, you'll see the exact cut and what it looks like. Another one is composition. Composition means how your subjects are positioned. So if you've ever seen the musical movie Grease, this is a scene when they're having this fantasy about their hot rod, and then this is the shot 1, the final pose of the song, and then it immediately cuts to the next shot, which is their reality. So this is their fantasy and this is their reality, but you can see it's matching because the composition and their poses are all exactly the same. So this is another example of a match cut. So there's not same shapes or colors necessarily, but something you can obviously tell is the same. So what you're going to do in this assignment is 2 parts. So the first part is you have exercise files from me. You're going to create a match cut video using your exercise files. The second part will be that you're going to create a match cut using your own shots. You'll use the cameras to take your own shots and use a match cut. So there are 2 videos you're turning in. So for this and the next 2 assignments with transitions, you're turning in 2 videos each. You're doing the first one from the provided exercise files, which I'll go over with you in just a moment. Next, you're going to come up with your own match cut idea and use the cameras. You'll use the cameras to shoot 2 shots, something that has some kind of matching element. Again, you can use the examples I just talked about or any other examples you've seen from the video to try and create a cool match cut. Something with matching shapes, colors, compositions, movement, etc. Don't use the same shots as your exercise files. So the shots from your exercise files are from around the classroom. Do not use the exact same shots that I did. Come up with your own idea, please. And then you'll edit your own video in Premiere Pro as well. As always, these videos are really short, only about 5 to 10 seconds long. We don't need them to be super long videos. We're just going over short little tricks. So easy 5 to 10 second videos. You're going to turn in both, and that will be the assignment. So you have your exercise files. Download those, get those open in Premiere Pro, and we're going to edit a simple example just like this. So a simple match cut between the 2 shapes right here. We have this shape transition into that shape. So again, simple, just like that. Let's do that. So download your exercise files, open them into a new project in Premiere Pro. Pause the video if you haven't already to get to that point, and let's bring them in. So we're just going to bring in our video clips to the timeline. They could be side by side for this one. We're going to transition from one into the other. You can see they're both push-ins. So this one's a push-in to this restroom sign, and this one is a push-in to the clock. So same with the elements, you also want your movement to match potentially too. So if you do a push in for one shot, do a push in for the other shot. It doesn't have to be a push in. You could do a zoom or a static shot. You can use any of the camera movement types that we practiced back in the shot list unit, but just make sure that they are matching. So we just want to have them line up and have a nice transition. So we don't want to leave the shots exactly the way they are because that doesn't make sense. We want them to kind of fade into each other. So let's say, for example, this one, I'm going to cut it about right there, possibly. So let's trim this part. It's going to be right about in the middle. Let's get right in the middle, right when we're zooming in to about right there. And then we're going to bring this one in, and we're going to have to trim the beginning so it also matches. About, so we're also pushing in maybe about right there. So let's trim the beginning of this one, and we'll see how they line up. So now the movement never stops. We're constantly pushing in the entire time. So let's watch. Pushing in, and we're still pushing in. So there's no loss in momentum. We're pushing in the entire time. See how it constantly flows? It doesn't push in and stop and then push in and stop. All right, that's looking good. Let's do a dissolve. So in the video, it mentions a match dissolve. So instead of just being a hard cut between the two like this, let's throw in a dissolve. So let's go to our effects tab over here and search for dissolve. And you want this one called cross dissolve right here. This is the cross dissolve. We're going to grab that. This effect goes in between two clips. So I can't put it on the clip like this, like we've done in other effects. I can't put it on the clip like this. This is a transition. You see it's on video transitions. So this one goes in between the clips like this. And you should see it in between both. If you don't see it go in between both, it's because you didn't trim your clips. You have to trim both of the clips in order to see it like this, or else it will only be on one side. So now we can see it's going to fade into the other clip instead of being a hard cut. See how it transitions like that? We can also change the position and angle slightly to line them up a little bit more. So if I put my mouse right here in the middle, I can see the cross dissolve where there's an overlap. We can change the scale and position a little bit to make them line up a little bit better. So I can see that they're not completely center. So I'm going to take this clip with the clock and I'm going to adjust the scale and position just a little bit. I'm not going to do keyframes. I just want them to match a little bit. I'm going to move the position for this, or the scale, move the position a little bit right here, a little bigger. Right about there. Now they're more matching overlap. So now let's play it from the beginning. There, that's a nice match cut. So a nice match cut with simple shapes. So that is part one of the assignment. Again, nice little simple clip. It's only about 6 seconds, so that's good. This is the first part of your assignment, is to create a match cut like this, like I just did with your exercise files. Part two will be going out and shooting your own clips now. So remember, part two, grab a camera, possibly a tripod if you're going to do a static shot, and you're going to create 2 matching clips with some sort of element that we just talked about, and that will be a separate sequence. So there's no need to create a separate project. Just take your camera shots, put them in here, and create a new sequence. Make sure you create a new sequence right here so you have 2 separate videos to export. You're going to export both this one that you just did with my files and whatever you would like to do with your match cut. And remember, you have different options. You can use a shape, just don't use the same shapes that I did. Do something else. You can use something like color or an element like that, or composition, like someone who's posed in the same direction or moving in the same direction between both shots, and you'll see the connection. Okay, so that's it. Just like that, 2 simple videos, one with my files, one with your files, and that's it. That is a match cut. Okay, so have fun and let me know if you have any questions.